Arratsaldeon guztioi eta ongi etorriak zinemaldira. Buenas tardes y bienvenidas, bienvenidos al Festival de Cine de San Sebastián. Good afternoon and welcome to the San Sebastian Film Festival. Today we are going to have a coffee with Marta Sousa Ribeiro, director of the feature film CHAMA, from Portugal, who is part of the competition Zabaltegui Tabacalera. And Marta is here with part of her team, Simon Langlois, the main actor, and Joana Peralta, the producer. Welcome and thank you for being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the name who appears in the title, Simon. Who is Simon? Who is this character? And why and when you decide to make a feature film about a teenager?
Thank you for your questions, and thank you, San Sebastian, for having us. We're very happy. Simon, I think I'm always thinking about new things as I answer new questions, but it's getting more clear now that Simon is a projection of my own teenage years, but I don't know why I saw myself as a boy, so that's why Simon is here and not any other girl, you know, because I think about myself as a boy that back then, which is weird. But the film, I started the film in I think in a need of expressing some things that I really didn't know what it was, but I needed to go deep into it, and I think teenage years are always very emotional and bumpy, and a lot of things happen with your life. You go to study, you have to think about your future, and you don't have time to process it. And I think when I came back from studying, I came back to Portugal, and that was when I started to feel the need to think about all those back here, like 10 years before, what really happened. And that's how I started to think about the film. And it started as tiny shorts, and then with all the work, we turned it into a feature.
Okay. Simon, congratulations for your performance. It's amazing. And some questions for you. It's your first job in cinema? Yeah, first 2 or 3 questions, and after you can tell us. And how did you meet Marta? And how did you build the character? If you used your own experience as a teenager to build the character?
So first, yes, it's my first movie. So I met Marta when I was like 14 years old, 13 years old. I was doing theater, and one of my theater teachers was friend with Marta. So it was for a casting. Me and my cousin were invited to the casting, so we went the two, and that's how I met Marta. And for the character of Simon, I think the way the Simon of the movie was thinking was the same way I would think if I was in the same position. So I think Marta always proposed the situations, the life that Simon had, and the way the character will lead with all the things that were arriving to him was more my interpretation, like how to react. But yeah, it was really a construction of us two. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And Joana, now a question about the production. We can see in the credits that the film was shot in 3 different periods, and it's not so usual, no? Starting in 2015 until the last year, I suppose. Can you explain us the reason of this so particular way of approaching to a production.
I think the main reason was that we didn't have money to do to start the movie. Like Marta had this idea, and because we two and more too, we have a production company that we started like 1 year before that, I think. And Marta had this idea, but we didn't have money. And I think that's the main reason that we have to like shot a weekend, and then we stop and started again in the next year or a few months later. But yeah.
No, it was. I think it's interesting to understand that in the beginning, the production company, Videolotion, we didn't have money at all. So as our colleague Pedro Cabaleira that did this Damned Summer, we also did this film in the same way that I put some money myself, and Joanna helped me manage all the production in the beginning. So it was very, very little money. So yeah, that's like she said, and the kids had classes that we had to shoot on the weekends. Then suddenly someone from the team couldn't make it, so we had to wait 2 months. And then we did edit, and we edited, and it's like something is missing here, this is not working. So it's always like a process of going back, and sometimes we had to stop because we were out of money for the production company, so we had to work like 4 months, commercial stuff too. So yeah, like this weird balance, I think.
Yeah, like 6 years ago, she had the idea, and it was like, I could say just a short movie, and then it started to be bigger and bigger. So yeah, it was like in the first year that we was shooting, okay, we shoot like, I don't know, one day per week in a few months or something like that. And then, okay, now, as Marta was saying, okay, now we don't have money to pay the team, so we don't have to, we cannot call them and say, okay, we're going to shoot next week, because they were working another job, so, and that's it. And then we, like, I don't know, 2 years ago, we received money from Eurimage, and that was like I don't know, how do you say?
It's like the moment when we had money for production for the first time. It was like,
okay, now we can make the real thing. And
now we have to finish this. That was the most important. Because until then, it was more like, well, we have to finish, but I don't know if I can. I don't know if you can. And then, no, we have to do this.
Yeah, and I think about the time it was not just a problem of money, but Marta it was always changing the way that she saw the movie. Like, okay, now, because like Simon started to change the voice, his voice, starting to like wearing glasses and that thing. So, okay, it was a process.
So we had to change with him, and I'm not a stable person creating. So yeah, that's why.
Yeah, it was money, but I think it was like even the movie was growing up. So.
Okay. Marta, I like a lot how freely you mix very different formats and materials in the film. Tell us something about this freedom of making films. No?
Well, that's interesting. You used that word freedom, which was exactly the utopic word of the project. Like, how can you talk about freedom? How can you talk about something that is at the same time so subjective but so objective to everyone? And I think, well, it's funny because I don't think I had a lot of thought about, I want to make this like this or this like that. I just like it was very organic. And because of this budget thing, so I didn't have, for example, the shots from the airplane in the air. Some of them we built, like we did it, this special effects, but others I just went to pick online, and I think they're perfect. And at the same time, if I had the trouble to shot everything and take a team and waste some money to do it, it wouldn't be as cool as it is. So I think it's a mix between, because I'm very impatient sometimes, and when I'm editing, I want to see at the moment. So sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. But I just go online and just put the shot, and it's like, whoa, this is perfect, and it stays. So I think maybe it has to do a bit about that freedom of creating. Like, I want to do it now, so I do it now. Because sometimes cinema can be a pain in the ass. Where you have to wait, and I don't want to wait. But yeah, I mean, for me, it made sense to mix all the formats because in terms of the character and what he was watching and the computer screen, which is like a portal to the underworld, you know, like I had to have that somehow. And now that I think about it, it was obvious that the formats have to exist, even though I didn't think about that like a main option, you know, it's just like it was organic. Yeah.
Okay. Simon, yesterday was the first time you saw the film in the big screen. And how was the experience?
It wasn't really the first time that I saw all the movie. Yeah, it was the first time I saw all the movie. Like the final scene wasn't already prepared when I saw the first time. So it was more emotional this time because it was in the big screen. My parents were there, all the people. So this time it was really more emotional. But first time, to be honest, it was really painful. Like seeing.
You didn't tell me this. You didn't tell me this.
More than 1 hour myself when I was little. So with a tiny voice. I didn't like the first time I saw it, but it was really just the fact hearing always my own voice. But the movie at the end, of course, was. Of course, I was really happy for doing all this work, and congratulations to Marta and all the team.
Well, can I ask him something? Can you see the film? Can you see yourself as a character, or you're not able to do that?
It's hard because I really think Simon and me. It could have been me if I was in the same situation of the character. I think to be exactly the same way as the movie goes. Yeah.
And you like the experience? Is in your mind to maybe continue making films or not? Or it's just, okay, the first experience? Or
It was first experience, but yeah, I really loved. So I don't have any projects for now, but yeah, of course, cinema and theater always had a special place in my heart, and I'm keeping doing theater formation in parallel with my studies. So. Well, I hope one day have other occasions with Marta, with someone else.
Because he's studying engineering at the same time. He's trying to have both,
but could
which
be
is not easy.
A good combination. A strange but a good combination. Yeah. Okay, let's continue talking about freedom and cinema, but now focus on the sound mixture, because not only the music. We are going to talk about music, but also languages, different languages, English and Portuguese, musics, different sounds. Let's talk a bit about this.
Well, yeah, again, English is like part of our world, even though we don't speak English with our families in Portugal. And for me, it was always, I had this weird dream when I was younger that would it be possible to wake up one day and to speak a different language, just like that, and it's like you can understand each other. And I think it's interesting. You feel the world is more global, and you feel more connected because of the internet. And I feel that language is not a first issue anymore, and so that's why maybe I felt more at ease to use different languages, because I didn't even think it would be something like. If it has subtitles, I go to the character. I don't even think it's a different language. But I think it's related to us being Portuguese, because we don't have, in Spain you have, like, you dub everything. We don't have that, so we are very used to hear different languages from a small age. So for me, it was not an issue, but it's funny because I think if I was Spanish, it would be different probably.
Yeah. Okay.
And about the French, because Simon, his father is French, so Marta decided to have that, and decided the father goes to France, and they have that dialogue in French.
It was not. I mean, I think it's very funny because it was like very organic. Everything like it made sense. So I didn't have to work that hard to think about some stuff because that thing about France, it's funny.
Okay. I'm going to make the last questions for you, for the three of you. Okay, because I like also a lot how you use other films, extracts from other films in your film. And the idea of maybe the cinema as a way of understanding the world. And I want to ask you, what is cinema for you? Dale, Simon.
Well, for me, cinema, I'll be honest, I don't know so many movies. I like to see movies, but I'm maybe not a fan of cinema in general. But for me, it was really the part of acting that's the part of cinema that transcends me. So for me, it's really the part that I love is the part of acting. But of course, there's so much in cinema that I love too. But maybe, that's the core that really keeps me loving this art.
Joanna, in your case, maybe,
I need 1 minute. No. I don't know, like, I think I changed my relationship with cinema, because of course I was studying cinema, and then we started this production company, and I didn't make any movie by myself as a director, of course. But I think it's like a magic way to see to see and to show the reality. Like you can do whatever you want. That's why I really love animation movies, because it's like an upgrade to this kind of fantasy. I think, it's to show the reality in our way, in the one way.
And Marta?
Well, for me, it was something very important because I was very introvert, and so I kind of refugied in films every day. I watched a new film when I was younger, and I think it's a way of you, like she said, a way of you putting yourself in another person's shoes for some time and just be someone else. And that freedom for me was addictive in a way, you know. And that's a bit why I decided to use other films. I really like this idea of freedom in creation and of assuming that you're stealing because you are stealing always, and that's so cool because you don't steal exactly, you always appropriate and you interpret it, and that's why art is so interesting. So I decided to assume that, and it gave me a lot of good things because I think that freedom of just I'm doing this, I'm putting something that's not mine here, and I like it. So for me it's a bit like that.
So congratulations and thank you very much for being here. Now we are going to see some images of the film, and good luck, and see you with your next project here. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
É verdade, ligaste ao teu pai?
Não, mas ele também não me ligou.
Oh, Simão, já sabes como é que é o teu pai, não deixes passar tanto tempo. Já tinha pedido para fazeres isso no sábado.
Eu ligo quando tiver tempo, ok?
Não, tu vais ligar quando chegares da escola, senão já sei que nunca mais. Aliás, já sabes que se ligares muito tarde, provavelmente não consegue atender. Até melhor que ligues. Isto sei, Olha, que eu não quero ficar no mais tarde, tenho coisas pendentes para fazer no trabalho. Vocês orientam-se?
Depois deste exame, prometo que nunca mais me veem. Par desta merda.
Mas pô, sabes que já arranjei a guita.
Estás a falar dos States?
Oh, mano, claro que estou a falar dos States, puto. É a nossa viagem para a liberdade.
Vocês, meninos, e dizer que se você...
O Simão portou-se mal.
Portou-se mal, o Simão. Então que se arranje que vamos ao cinema! Cinema! As coisas para fazer, olha, a roupa já está estendida, a roupa está arrumada, as cadeiras estão arrumadas, o sofá está ótimo! Vamos ao cinema, coma.
Maria, tenho que fazer os trabalhos de casa. Simão,
Ok,
os trabalhos
Simão,
de casa.
espera, Simão, os trabalhos de casa.
É gramática,
Está feito, faz.
Mariana, os trabalhos de casa.
Já está feito.